11 minutes of nonstop news, your Weather Authority forecast, and SWX sports headlines. This is NBC Right Now, local news, 11 at 11.
Thanks for staying up with us tonight. I'm Meredith Boggs. It may be months before we see Vista Field moving out and businesses moving in, but the future of the land is looking brighter. Tonight, the Kennewick City Council unanimously agreed to rezone the small airport from a public facility to commercial regional use. The commercial regional zone just means the area will be geared toward businesses that serve the Tri-Cities but draw people from the region. This would make Vista Field in line with much of the other zoning ordinances surrounding the property, like the Toyota Center and Convention Center.
Retail uses, office uses, restaurants, those types of things that you would normally see around, around the mall on Clearwater Avenue.
As the port works with us and we work with the port to develop Vista Field, I think it's all going to come together, and it's really going to be a destination. There's going to be a lot of opportunity.
Last month, the Port of Kennewick said it plans to start a year-long process, including public input, to come up with a plan for the land with a potential groundbreaking in 2015. Over at the Richland City Council meeting tonight, members started to pave the way for a proposed subdivision in South Richland. Tonight, council members voted 5-1 to rezone the Amon Creek Natural Preserve. Nearly 90 acres of the land will be rezoned from agricultural to medium-density residential, and another 18 acres will go from agricultural to natural open space. The council also unanimously approved the preliminary piece of land for Hayden Homes' Clearwater Creek subdivision. But by approving the plat, this does not obligate the city of Richland to build a road in the area or through the Amon Preserve. For more information on the Clearwater Creek proposal, just head to our website at NBCRightNow.com and look for this story. Well, the opening of pot stores are just weeks away, but there's still many gray areas in the legislation. One of the big ordinances in the I-502 implementation is that no pot retail stores or growing operations can be within 1,000 feet of a park or public area. But one of our viewers pointed to a rest area in Prosser. A recent retail pot lottery winner lists their address about 600 feet away from the rest area. However, the State Liquor Control Board says a rest area is not a park. The official definition states a park is land used for public rest or recreation. And for those stores across Washington looking to sell recreational marijuana, their product will have to go through a rigorous inspection process. A $4,000 square foot marijuana lab in Yakima is now open to do just that. In a couple of weeks, this high-end laboratory run by Seattle-based company Analytical 360 will be handling every type of pot product imaginable, from edibles to lotions and oils, even your most common buds.
We are doing safety testing for people. So these products are going to be used because 502 is going into effect. This is happening right now, and everything needs to be tested to make sure that it's safe.
Now, you might be wondering, with a ban on marijuana businesses in the city limits, how is the lab even able to open up in Yakima? The city manager says the ban only prohibits selling, growing, and processing marijuana. And since the lab doesn't do any of those three things, it doesn't violate the ban. Around the Northwest tonight, whether or not cities in Washington can ban marijuana businesses is now the subject of a new lawsuit. SMP Retail is a company that hopes to open a state licensed pot shop in Wenatchee. But Wenatchee is one of several cities in the state that has a ban on pot businesses. Washington's Attorney General believes cities have the authority to issue bans. But in a lawsuit filed today, the business's attorney argues that cities don't have the authority to overrule state law. In more local news, some people in Kennewick woke up to find brown water coming out of their faucets this morning. It affected people living on West 12th Avenue between Reed and Perry Streets. The city says construction work down the street on Moraine shut down some water lines several streets over. When the water came back on, the pressure caused sediment already in the pipes to flush into people's water lines.
Never have had water problems like that before.
That must have been shocking.
Oh, it was. It was so. I thought, yeah, it was very much.
However, the city says the sediment isn't dangerous. People just have to run their faucets for 10 to 15 minutes and the brown water should turn clear. Well, tonight firefighters are keeping an eye for hot spots after a fire sparked near Ellensburg. The State Department of Natural Resources says the fire is about 12 miles east of Ellensburg and burned more than 500 acres near a wind farm in the Vantage area. Firefighters have the fire contained, but they're still on scene. No word yet on what caused the fire. Right now in Benton County, the fire danger has gone from high to very high. This means no residential burning at all, except for recreational and warming fires. And agricultural burning must be approved. While we're starting to sound like a broken record, the Benton County Fire District 1 says our area is running about 3 to 4 weeks ahead of schedule when it comes to wildfire potential. It's a bird, it's a plane. Well, it really is a plane, and it's flying a lot lower to the ground than you may be used to, but don't worry, those planes are out spraying the rivers for mosquitoes. Right now, the river is rising. Now, the mosquito larvae embedded in the river shores are popping out and hatching, so this is prime time to control populations before they get out of control. The Lower Columbia region is what experts call an epicenter for diseases carried by those pests like West Nile virus.
Low-flying aircraft, we can treat a large area in a short amount of time, and so we just have a short window before those mosquitoes are going to be flying around, and so we want to treat those all on the same day if we can.
So when you know trucks will be spraying in your neighborhood, make sure to close your windows, cover koi ponds, and wash your vegetables in the garden before you eat them. Also, the most basic tip, keep yourself covered with sleeves or bug spray. So have you ever wondered what's the history behind Pasco's 2 giant water towers along Road 68? Well, Shane Ettinger has some answers.
In tonight's segment, we're getting a history lesson about Pasco's water towers. Heather sent us a Facebook message saying, I have a question about the Pasco water towers. I know the second tower was built not too long ago, but when was the first tower built? With Pasco's recent population explosion, we figured there's probably quite a few of you who are wondering the same thing. We talked with Pasco's Public Works Department. They say the first tower was built back in 1990, and it can hold about 500,000 gallons of water. The second tower was completed in 2007. It can hold 5 times more water, about 2.5 million gallons. Now, the increased capacity helps the city meet its water demands as its population continues to grow.
The city is trying to stay proactive to make sure the demands are met, and in terms of analyzing what the current needs are and the future needs, want to make sure we provide the best we can for residents. Yeah.
In fact, the city says their long-term water master plan includes the construction of a third water tower sometime in the next 5 to 20 years, depending on how much Pasco's population continues to grow. If that third tower is built, it would be located in northwest Pasco in the area north of Powerline Road. Remember, if you've got a question about something going on in our community, you can send it my way. You can reach me in the newsroom at 737-6738 or send me an email at justaskshane@nbcrightnow.com.
Mobile applications seem to be the way of the future, and some kids in Toppenish have already mastered the skill of developing them. 5 students from Toppenish Middle School spent months to create the app called We Vote. The app allows large groups of people to vote on any topic. It then organizes the information into a pie chart automatically. This app made them a winner in the Washington State Youth App Challenge. And what did they get for winning? Brand new Google tablets. Out of 50 schools that applied, Granger Middle School and Ochoa Middle School in Pasco also took home prizes. While most 3rd grade students are learning multiplication and how to write in cursive, an Ellensburg girl was selling an art piece for a pretty penny. 10 years later, Maddie Jenkins is preparing to graduate from Ellensburg High School, and her artwork is showcased in many local galleries, restaurants, and shops. And her artwork sells for hundreds of dollars.
It makes me proud, but I'm also really grateful for the community because they're so supporting of young artists. They got me started in the Paint Ellensburg live auction at Gallery 1 when I was like 5.
Wow. Well, the young artist says her inspiration comes from the places she's traveled, and she hopes to draw more inspiration from studying abroad during college. Jenkins plans to attend Western Washington University in the fall.
Time now to check out that weather, and although we had some showers in the region, didn't see much down here in our area. Here, let me show you what's going on. We still have some showers up there by Spokane, ranging into northern Idaho and western Montana. Boy, we saw pictures of hail, saw reports of thunder, lightning, and heavy rainfall up there. Down here, it's been dry, and the clouds continue to decrease overnight. Had gusty winds earlier and wind advisories. The advisories have been allowed to expire. The winds are dropping off tonight. Still a little breezy tomorrow, but we hang on to dry conditions and sunny skies as we continue the week. I'm back with more details of the extended outlook in a few minutes, but now your leadoff sports with Matt.
Thank you, Tim. And the leadoff spot tonight, Mariners on a 7-game road trip tonight. Atlanta, the site between the M's and Braves. M's in a big hole early, but they would eventually climb out. You're looking at video of RoboCop. That's a good preview of what's to come in sports. Well, I guess we'll have to move on to talk about the Walla Walla Sweets. All set for their 5th campaign, hoping to follow up a successful 2013. The Sweets won their final 8 games for a record of 31-22. Their first game this summer will be Friday as they welcome in the Bellingham Bells. Yakima Valley Pippins will face Wenatchee. Well, not the most popular sport in America at the moment, but Melanie Denham and her Central Washington Wildcat rugby team hope to change that. Rugby now a varsity sport at the school, and Denham plenty of experience. She has played for 14 years and is on the women's national team. And coming up in about 15 minutes, we will hear from the coach. For now, back to Meredith.
All right, thank you, Matt. Well, that's your first 11 minutes of news, weather, and sports. Coming up next, crooks after your debit information are getting creative. And it's getting riskier to swipe your card every day. A word of warning tonight from experts where you shouldn't swipe that card. Right after the break. You probably use your debit card to make all kinds of purchases, but it turns out where you use it could put you at risk for losing your hard-earned money. According to some experts, there are 4 places you might not want to use it. Linda Picaro explains.
When it comes to plastic, what's your preference?